Hey guys, how would you like it if your social media worked harder for you this year and every single post that you made got you leads, prospects, and sales, and you stopped chasing people away? Like every post got more engagement, not just the ones where you were trying to drum up some business interest. Would that change your business? I'm guessing it probably would. I'm Adrienne with Build a Life by Design, and today I'm going to walk you through the top 3 goals that you should have for any and all social media posts that you make, and the number 1 mistake you absolutely must not make, or it's going to kill all of the progress you made, even if you are delivering on all 3 of the primary goals. Now, when I first started my business, I had an initial burst of interest and activity from my friends and family in my warm market, and things were going pretty well. But in all honesty, I really only knew about 1 of the 2 goals that my social media post should have, and I was making the number 1 mistake over and over again. So even though my warm market, my friends and family, the people that love me, were willing to forgive my poor behavior and were still willing to try out the products that I was, trying to sell, the minute that initial burst of activity popped with my warm market, and I ran out of people to talk to, it was like crickets. I mean, you could drop a pin and you wouldn't hear anything on my social feed. Like it was horrible. And so I realized very quickly I had to change what I was doing. But for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what was wrong with what I was doing because, at the time I was in a network marketing company and my upline was telling me to do all the things I was doing, right? And they tell you follow the leader, trust your upline, just do the work, right? Well, that only worked to a point and then it bit me in my butt. So that's why today I'm bringing you these tips. And if you stick around till the end, because I know everyone has ADD, you got 1,000 things to do, and it's really hard to hang in through a whole video. If you actually stick with me, not only am I going to share all 3 goals and the number 1 mistake you should avoid, but I'll give you a really nice little cheat sheet overview of all the do's and don'ts. And now that you know, by the time you get to the end, you'll know what to do correctly with your social media. So I will give you my number 1 tip to making all those posts across all those platforms super easy and not actually that much more work than just making 1 single post. You can be everywhere at once with all the right stuff so that your success will multiply even faster. So be sure to stick around to the end for that. All right, goal number 3 should be to build your know, like, and trust factor with your network and to build your personal brand. Now, know, like, and trust is also synonymous with the word rapport, right? You want to build rapport with your network. You want them to feel like they really know who you are, even though they're only seeing you through a screen. And over time, repetitively of seeing you, you're going to attract your perfect people, right? You're going to attract the people who are into what you're doing. And you'll also repel the people who aren't quite right for you, but that's good because they're not right for you. So you don't want them around anyway, right? Now, one of the mistakes I made early on in my business is that I wasn't really thinking about growing my personal brand. I was thinking about growing my company's brand. So I was posting a lot about my company. And although it may have been boosting their brand, it was destroying mine. So you want to make posts in such a way that you're building curiosity, you're attracting people, they're getting to know the real you, not just the company you rep. And the stronger of a personal brand you create, the more people are going to stick around and be curious to see what the next post is that you're going to make or the next live video that you do. And you're just going to create a really strong following. So just keep in mind, building rapport and building your personal brand is an absolute must. All right. So that brings us to goal number 2, which is to start offline conversations. So every single person who likes or comments or throws down an emoji or a reaction or anything to any of your posts, business related or not, start a conversation with those people. It means that the algorithm is allowing them to see your stuff, and the more you feed that algorithm, the more you take those online reactions to offline conversations, the more they're going to see your stuff in the future, the more they're going to respond to your stuff in the future. And every one of those conversations can ultimately turn into a business conversation down the road if you're fostering that rapport and that know, like, and trust with them. So goal number 2 is always, always to take it from online to offline conversations, or, text messages, Facebook messages, DMs, whatever, but you're not having all the conversation on the post itself. You're bringing it to conversations, okay, into messages, things that are off of the public view, okay? So when I say offline, I just mean off of the public view, right? It turns into a one-on-one kind of situation. So that should absolutely be the goal of any and all social posts you make, whether they're business related or not. So finally, guys, it takes us to the number one goal that you should have for every single business-related social post that you make, is to invite them to learn more or to take the next step. So what does learning more and taking the next step mean? Well, it could be inviting them to a Facebook group or a Facebook challenge. It could be inviting them to join your email list or inviting them to take a look at a PDF guide. It could be inviting them to a webinar, to an event, or to a one-on-one conversation or a face-to-face meeting. It can vary depending on where it is you're trying to drive your traffic. But the ultimate goal is to invite people to just get one level deeper, right? Because public social posts, they're not very deep. They're not very close to your inner circle, right? But if they take one step closer and one step closer and one step closer, the closer they get to you, the more steps they've taken with you, the more you've qualified them as a truly interested lead and prospect, right? They're raising their hand again and again with every step that they take with you, showing, yes, I'm interested, yes, I'm interested, yes, I'm interested. And when you get them into that cycle of saying yes, 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 when you finally ask for the sale, they're going to say yes, right? Because they've already taken all of those steps with you. So you just have to invite them to the next step with you to go one level deeper, learn a little bit more, and, take that next step, get closer to your inner circle. And this is both good for them because it helps them to feel like you're listening to them, you're meeting their needs, you're never being pushy, you're just inviting. And, it really, really helps to build trust as well, because you're not pouncing for the sale right out of the gates. You're just asking them to look at one more thing, one more thing, one more thing, right? And so it feels a lot less salesy for everybody. You're simply inviting. All right, so the number one mistake that you must never, ever make on social media posts is to try to make a sale directly from the post itself. Now, if you're doing this, give yourself a little grace, forgive yourself, and just let yourself know. As soon as you know better, you can do better, okay? So don't give yourself a hard time about it, but definitely clean up that behavior, because if you're trying to make a sale directly from the post, it absolutely kills all of the progress that you've made with the 3 goals that we just talked about, right? You're going to come across as salesy, you're going to come across as pushy, right? And so that's definitely not building know, like, and trust. In fact, it's repelling people. So you've killed goal number 3 right away. And then if you remember goal number 2, the whole point of making these social posts is to start conversations. Well, if you're coming across as salesy and pushy, no one's going to want to have a conversation with you. So even if you do message them, they're probably not going to respond because they're thinking, yeah, they're just trying to sell me something. No thanks, right? And then, of course, your number 1 goal is to invite them to learn more or invite them to take the next step. And again, because you've repelled them, it's kind of like you're the mall kiosk person, right? You can see them out of the corner of your eye. They're just like waiting to pounce on you. So you don't make eye contact, right? It's like that. If you're trying to sell directly from the post itself, you become that mall kiosk person that everyone is avoiding and not looking at, right? They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to interact with you. You don't even have a chance to invite them to learn more because they're avoiding you like the plague, okay? So let's make sure that we don't have you doing that, okay? Social posts are not the place to sell. They are a place to, right? Build know, like, and trust, create some curiosity, maybe learn a little bit about your leads and prospects. If you're asking questions or they're interacting with you, great. Start, offline conversations. And, sometimes in social posts you can invite, like, hey, create a little curiosity. For those of you who'd love to learn more, feel free to join my Facebook group. Feel free to join my email list. We're running a challenge, etc., etc. You can invite them to the next step. That doesn't feel salesy. But trying to make a sale directly from the post, yeah, that feels salesy. So we don't want to do that. That's going to kill all of the progress you made with your first 3 goals. All right, so you have the secrets now. You know exactly what you should and shouldn't be doing with your social media posts. You had that nice little summary overview of what to do and what not to do. And for those of you who are wondering, but if I can't sell on my social posts, where do I do the selling? Where does that come in? If you're there, I will attach a link below to where you can grab a PDF guide that explains where to actually do the selling, okay? It's going to give you a full overview of not just social posts, but what to do in posts, what to do in messages, what to do in Facebook groups, what to do in challenge groups, what to do if you have an email list or, sales funnels, webinars, etc. It kind of breaks down every single step and it lets you know where to sell and where not to sell, where to build trust, where to build your brand, etc., etc. So be sure to check the links in the description for that, and I'll make sure it's in there easy for you guys to find. So, as promised, you stuck around to the end, and now I'm going to give you one of my best tips for simplifying social media, because once you are locked and loaded on good social behavior, you know the kinds of posts that you should be making and not making, and you have some really great content queued up and ready to go, or you're starting to build really great content. Rather than just taking all that time and energy to put posts onto one platform, you can put them onto lots of platforms all at once without doing any extra work. Yes, I swear, that's a thing. It's one of my favorite tips, tricks, and tools that I share with my network. So, if you want to subscribe, if you love what you've been learning here, my logo will pop up somewhere on the screen if you're on YouTube that you can click to subscribe. But otherwise, the next video that's queued up will take you to another video that describes exactly how to just create one post but have it go out to multiple social media sources. So it saves you time and frustration, and it helps to get all that amazing good behavior out onto as many platforms as possible. So be sure to watch the next video, and I'll see you guys next time around.